We've all heard of the many haunted historic landmarks that exist across New England. But did you know that there is an entire area of Massachusetts dedicated to its high volume of haunted places and stories? Welcome to the Bridgewater Triangle. This 200 square mile area located in southeastern Massachusetts holds a plethora of abnormal sightings, haunted locations, and unsolved mysteries. The Bridgewater Triangle is located about 30 to 40 miles south of Boston and about 20 to 30 miles east of Providence, Rhode Island. The triangle is large. It spans an area of over 200 square miles, and there are over 20 towns that are part of the Bridgewater Triangle. However, the majority of the triangle is within the towns of Raynham, Taunton, and of course, Bridgewater.
All right, so I'm here at Lake Nippanicket, which is the largest lake here in the Bridgewater Triangle, and is part of the locally famed Hockomock Swamp, which will be covered as well during this series. This lake, called the Nip by the locals, is especially important to the Bridgewater Triangle due to the abnormally high level of drownings here, despite the deepest parts of the lake being only about 6 feet deep. Many hundreds of years ago, native tribes who inhabited this area used to fish at this lake a lot, hence the reason why it has a native language name from the tribes that used to live here. People believe that it may be cursed by the spirits of the natives, hence the reason why so many people have unfortunately lost their lives at this lake, and hence the reason why other paranormal sightings have been spotted here as well.
It is generally believed that the reason this area is so haunted dates back to when the native tribes of the Wampanoag and Patuxet lived here. The haunted spiritual energy is thought to have began with them, due to the fact that they were brutalized and mistreated by European colonists who landed here in the 1600s. The Hockomock Swamp, a massive 16,000-acre collection of streams, rivers, ponds, and lakes, was the land that sustained the Wampanoag people. Today, their former fortresses and fishing sites remain part of the Hockomock, as well as, possibly, the legends they left behind.
In the heart of southeastern Massachusetts lays a place where reality blurs with legend. Long before the colonial maps etched out its borders, the Wampanoag people thrived here, keepers of the land, spirit, and sky. To them, the swamp was no ordinary wilderness. It was a sacred realm, living and breathing. They called it Hockomock, the place where spirits dwell. It wasn't just home to deer or herons, it pulsed with magic. According to the Wampanoag legend, Moshup is a giant who lived along the coast of Massachusetts and Rhode Island. He was known for his enormous size and strength, often catching whales with his bare hands and hurling them onto the shore to feed his people. Moshup shaped the land with his footsteps. Some even say the cliffs of Martha's Vineyard were made when he dragged his foot along the island. He was a protector, a provider, and a symbol of harmony with nature. Even today, Moshup's journey and story reminds us of the deep connection between the indigenous people and the land that they cherish. In Wampanoag tradition, smoking a sacred pipe was more than just a ritual. It was a spiritual act used to offer prayers, seek guidance, and connect with the ancestors. The tobacco smoke carried intentions to the spirit world, but in the same forest where these sacred ceremonies took place, another story lurks, the legend of the Pukwudgies. These small trickster-like creatures were once friendly to humans, but turned mischievous and even dangerous when disrespected. Some say the smoke from the sacred pipes helps keep the Pukwudgies at bay. It is a powerful reminder that Wampanoag culture, respect the land and its spirits, seen and unseen, is an essential to balance and safety. The Wampanoag's deep spiritual connection to the land is said to still echo. In strange sightings, mysterious lights, and energy you can feel in your bones. Their ceremonies, their stories, their reverence. It all lingers, imprinted in moss and mist. Many researchers search for answers to the Bridgewater Triangle's mystery, but perhaps the answer isn't in ghosts or creatures, but in the enduring spirit of the Wampanoag, whose magic still moves through the swamp, protecting it, watching, reminding us that some places were never meant to be explained.
All right, so that was Tori Bland giving us a more in-depth look at the Hockomock Swamp, its relationship to the Wampanoag, and the myths and legends that still carry with it today. This beautiful swamp behind me is filled with myths and legends, many of whom are about mythical animals, which makes a lot of sense because this swamp is teeming with wildlife. Snapping turtles, turkeys, deer, even wolves are just a few of the animals that you'll find if you spend a few days back here. Anyways, thank you so much, Tori. Our next segment is going to bring us to Bridgewater State University, where we'll be investigating how the campus may be haunted.
Bridgewater State University, located in the town of its namesake, was first established in the year 1840 and is the largest university located within the Bridgewater Triangle. And of course, it's not immune to the Triangle's haunted stories. In fact, quite the opposite. The most famous haunted legend of BSU's campus comes from Woodward Hall, a student dorm building located on the west side of campus. It was first built in 1912, making it the oldest building on campus still standing. The legend with Woodward has it that, after a fire burned the entire building down in 1924, people were able to hear the screams and panic of those who perished in the fire within the building after it was rebuilt, which continued for the decades that followed. Which is strange, because there were no casualties reported in that fire. However, people have also reported seeing doors open on their own and phantom footsteps throughout the halls. We tried finding some people around campus who would be able to tell us if this is all truth or if it's just talk.
So yeah, we were just wondering, so there have been rumors about a ghost that screams fire in Woodward, and because there was a fire here in 1924. We were just wondering if you know of any stories of people who have seen or heard that ghost at all.
I have not. That's new news to me.
Okay. Now, there's also been doors opening on their own. There's been footsteps when no one else is around. If there's any sort of strange paranormal activity going on here in Woodward Hall, or is it just rumors, do you think?
I've definitely heard stuff, but that might just be people upstairs. But this door does like to open by itself a lot. It's like one of
Oh,
the
for real?
automatic ones.
Okay.
And
Well, that's something. That's interesting. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it seemed as though our student body did not have very much personal info on the spiritual happenings around campus. We then headed over to the auditorium located at the Rondelau Student Union, as we'd heard there is a ghost who has been seen and heard inside. We ran into a custodian who did not want to be on camera, who told us that she and her co-workers had seen this ghost, and that she had heard that Tillinghast Hall and the Art Center, both across the street, were haunted as well. Did we find out whether those ghosts were real? Not quite. But I was able to find someone who gave us somewhat of an answer.
You know, the idea of if you're someone who is into the science of ghosts, there's sort of the belief that ghosts are sort of a concentration of energy. So if people were terrified because of the fire, that would certainly qualify as a concentration of energy. Now, is there any possibility that this could have been a girl that started the fire? Ooh, there you go. That would make the story much better. The next time you tell that story, she was, she didn't like her roommate, so she started a fire, blah, blah, blah. Every time you tell a ghost story, you're supposed to either add or subtract something.
All in all, the Bridgewater Triangle and its phenomena shrouds us all with a sense of mystery and curiosity. While there isn't much one can do to prove that a ghost story is real, it's also hard to prove that they're not real, because it is easy to feel the sense of leftover energy around you in any given place if you pay attention. Given the rich history of the area, with colonial settlements dating back to the 1600s, and native settlements even further, it's safe to say that the leftover energy that lurks in the Bridgewater Triangle is plentiful, and there is always much, much more to be discovered.